Welcome to At Home with Music. I'm Leon Olguin. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You know, I've learned that most of the folks who watch my videos are not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Thank you. As a classically trained pianist, I learned to read music. I learned a lot of classical piano music by reading it from the printed page. In addition, I would try to find a recording of any piece I was assigned so that I could hear how it was supposed to sound. Now, back in those days, just about every recording was on LP. You remember those. I risk sounding like an old curmudgeon, but I miss the days of LPs. When I was a little kid, I used to love watching the labels spin round and round. It was mesmerizing. Anyway, I would sit down with the sheet music for the piece I wanted to learn, put on the LP, and follow along with the music while I listened. I would borrow records from the library, back in the days when you could borrow records, so that I could do this. And this pleasant habit followed me into college. And that's when I discovered, much to my delight, that the college library kept a bank of record players, each with its own set of headphones, and an extensive set of classical LPs, and an extensive collection of musical scores. Not just piano music, there was chamber music, choral music, orchestral music, even Broadway musical scores. Just about anything you might want. So, this became one of my favorite college pastimes. I would go to the library, select an LP, find the corresponding score, and play the record while following along with the score. And I listened and read the music to every Beethoven piano sonata, every Beethoven symphony, countless other works by composers, both famous and obscure. After I graduated, there wasn't as much time for this pastime, what with work and getting married and so on. And like many musicians, my first full-time jobs were not related to music at all. In fact, my first job was as a banquet waiter at a posh resort in Southern California before I secured my first music-related job as an adult. Fast forward now to the advent of the internet, and more specifically, YouTube. I discovered almost by accident that folks were posting recordings of classical pieces and showing the sheet music. You could just listen and follow along, just like I used to do in college. But now, I didn't need a record player or even a copy of the music. It was all there. Not only classical music, but transcriptions of jazz pieces and popular songs. Hardly a day goes by when I don't discover new musical treasures on YouTube. I found all 32 of Beethoven's piano sonatas with both audio and sheet music, and often 2 or 3 performances by different pianists. Not only could I listen and follow along with the music, but I could also compare the various interpretations. I've studied orchestral scores, choral music, jazz transcriptions. I tell you, the ones for Oscar Peterson and Art Tatum are mind-boggling. And music from just about every historical period. Recently, I discovered a batch of sonatas by Scarlatti, a composer you would do well to study. And these were played on the harpsichord. I studied harpsichord in college, and believe me, compared to the piano, the harpsichord is an entirely different beast. Anyway, I would encourage you as a serious musician to try this practice. Find some YouTube videos where they play the music and show you the sheet music. This is one of YouTube's greatest and most precious treasures. So I will leave some links below to give you a glimpse of what is available out there. So what will you gain by doing this? First of all, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for the music. Even if you are not a completely fluent music reader, you'll begin to see the complexity and the sheer creativity involved in its creation. You'll begin to notice the structures the composers used. There are certain forms that many composers followed in creating their works, like the sonata allegro form, the rondo, the theme and variations, just to name a few. I'll explore these formats in future videos. You'll discover new music and maybe find some new favorites. As you find and watch these types of videos, YouTube will direct you to more. And I have discovered a veritable treasure trove of new music, or at least new to me, this way. Your ability to read music will improve and increase. It doesn't matter what kind of music you play. Learning to follow along with the sheet music while listening, that will help sharpen your ear as you see the notes on the page and match those notes with the ones you're hearing. It forces you to listen with complete attention. You will listen with intention instead of using music as merely background sound. There's so much out there on YouTube, with more being added each day. So I encourage you to pursue this practice, and I believe you will become a more discerning and educated music lover as well as a music maker. So as I mentioned, I will leave some links below where you can get started watching the video while watching the music scroll by and listening to the music and following along. Thanks again for watching. As I mentioned before, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions or any comments, you can leave those in the comment section below. If you'd like to support my work further, you can go to my Patreon page, and I will leave all the needed links in the description. Thanks again, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.